Now, now to get more of the earthquake aftermath updates, we're now connected with our very own reporter Arya Siddhartha. Hello, Arya.
Hello.
Hi, Arya. It's Caroline here. Can you please let us know where you are currently at now, in which district you're reporting from?
So currently we are in the Pasaman Regency in Malamba specifically, which is one of the two places that are affected by the earthquake. The other one being the other one being in West Pasaman. The one we are currently right now is in Pasaman Regency.
And hi, Aria, Paul here. What's the latest situation in the area where you're currently at?
Right. So in this current area, things does seem to have calmed down. At the very least today, we record no major aftershocks. I'm currently in a local football field where several tents, as you can see behind me, have been set up. This is where people have been taking refuge, where they've escaped the more wrecked areas in their villages, around 30 to 40 minutes away from my current location. Right now, things have been calming down. We saw earlier children playing in the fields and simply just trying to calm themselves down from obviously the more stressful situations that have been faced 4 days earlier. We've also seen, aside from that, we've seen um, the National Police and the Army, who have a noticeably large presence in the area. They've been helping with assisting delivering supplies, as well as helping search and rescue operations for the remaining missing persons in the Malampa region. Aside from that, we've also seen the Indonesian Red Cross, Doctors Without Borders, as well as other non-profit organizations who are arriving to offer aid and as well as set up temporary shelters. As of right now,
All
five
right,
people
so
are still missing, and search and rescue operations are currently underway in the location further um, north from where I am right now, near the Pasaman Mountain. So I've received reports also that cleaning operations are underway in Kajai, which is the other village impacted by the quake. But for now, people will still have to stay at camps like the one behind me, as those cleaning operations are being conducted.
right. Arya, this is Alia. So, what do the locals need most right now, especially the ones who are getting sick already?
Right. So the issue now that I've been hearing a lot is that the distribution of aid is not exactly distributed evenly, as some areas are closer to the center of the regional government. Therefore, they've received a amount of aid. Good amount of aid. However, much more remote areas, such as the one here in Malampah, are having trouble receiving aid because, as we've experienced ourselves, as we've gotten to this area, the place is quite isolated and the roads are not necessarily the best. So it's extremely difficult for cars and other logistic supply lines to be able to go to this location to begin with. And another major problem that we've seen mentioned is that there's a lack of record keeping, proper record keeping, and coordination. So obviously, in these types of disasters, when they happen, it's really important to know exactly the scale of the damage and what's affected, and where it is affected the most. That way, support groups, such as the ones that I've mentioned before, can map out and properly keep tabs on who needs aid. But that's been an issue recently where it's mostly unclear who needs aid the most and where exactly.
Now, Arya, back again with Caroline right here. You were saying that there were a couple of missing people. Is there any obstacles for the research for the search and rescue efforts regarding that situation?
Right. So currently there are five missing persons. Search and rescue operations have found at least one person,
Hmm.
although unfortunately the person did not survive, leaving another of the last five still unaccounted for. Earlier, we did manage to see the area where the landslide affected the most and where the search and rescue is taking place. And honestly, it's understandable why they're having problems to begin with, because the area where it's affected is incredibly large, and the terrain is very, very hard to navigate and traverse because the dirt is still very wet and it's easy for you to get sucked into. And if you don't know your way around, it's very easy for you to simply get stuck. And so that's the main problems that the search and rescue teams have been facing. Add to that the occasional rain that can happen, like what happened earlier, just an hour ago. Now you've got yourself a recipe for disaster and just a whole lot of trouble for the search and rescue team, which are not that many to begin with. So I think that as soon as the search and rescue team are able to get more reliable data and coordinate with additional teams that come in, I feel like it's just a matter of time before they're able to find the rest of the missing persons. But for now, it's a matter of time. Yeah, it's just difficult.
Aria, looking at those images that you're feeding us over here, it's hard to imagine that anyone would be celebrating. However, today is the Isra Miraj, and Muslims would normally celebrate with prayer gatherings at mosques. Obviously, that has changed now. What about the Muslim refugees over there? How are they marking this day, if at all?
So obviously, the most of the refugees here are Muslims. But as the area right now is quite isolated, we didn't really encounter much mosques. Actually, in the village of Kajai, one of the mosques available there was razed to the ground due to the earthquake. But from what I've been hearing, it appears that the Muslim refugees, they're currently in the camps spread across the regencies. They're celebrating privately, um, as much as they're able to, because as we're all aware, right now the buildings around the area, a lot of people are scared that another earthquake or an aftershock might happen, and so they're staying safe in these camps and they're celebrating Isra Miraj privately, the way that they're able to in these camps.
Aria, thank you so much. Stay safe out there. We look forward to your next report. That was our very own Aria Sidata with boots on the ground. We'll wait for a further update at our next opportunity.